We're live, guys, with the 29th episode of GuardianCast. We have guest It's Only Michael here. How's it going?
Yo, Michael.
Hello. Hola.
So we have a ridiculous amount to talk about, and I don't even know where we're going to get started. But first, Michael, how'd you get into Destiny?
I actually
Tell us
started
about
playing
yourself.
Destiny
Yeah.
during the alpha on PS4. I
Okay.
was watching E3 and they're like, "Hey, come play this. It's out now." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna play this." And I got to the part when it's the mission where you have to go fight the wizard. It just gives you that. And I got up to the wizard and decided I hated it. I didn't like it at all. And then didn't bother with the beta.
Where it was like a wizard from the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then didn't play the beta at all.
Gotcha.
And then the game came out. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna see what it's like. And I loved it immediately with everything that you could like do and get all of the just like looting and having like random rolls on stuff. I convinced one of my best friends to start playing it. He got in and started playing it. Another friend from home like came on, so it was like the three of us for the longest time playing. Didn't play Vaulted Glass for like the first 2 weeks it was out because we had no idea what it was. Wasn't like that invested in
Right.
Destiny prior to that, so I wasn't familiar with what a raid was.
Right.
Then I started getting into raiding more. I found out that a cousin of mine was wildly into Destiny and had like a big clan of guys that were into Destiny, and I sort of just like got in with them, and it's just been hardcore Destiny ever since. I took a couple breaks during Destiny 1, but I've always come back. Took one break during Destiny 2, came back with more mind. I just keep coming back to it. It's the
That
best.
that's really interesting that you had like a negative reaction to the alpha and then like the full game because I think myself and like a lot of other people had like an opposite reaction. Like I didn't play the alpha, but I did play the beta, and I had this feeling like, whoa, I've only scratched the surface of this game. Like there's
Yeah.
probably so much depth behind this. I can't wait to like really dig my claws into like all of the secrets like and then like the full game came out and I was like, man, I've already played like the majority of this, you know?
Oh yeah.
But did you play like World of Warcraft or any kind of like
No.
MMO before that?
Nope.
Okay, so Destiny was like your first
Oh yeah.
experience.
Absolutely. Yep.
Nice, nice. And at what moment when you were playing Destiny did you realize you were gonna need three 1080 Ti's?
I actually decided to build my PC, or to get my PC, because I had another PC. My stream PC now was like my initial gaming PC, um, and I just wanted to have the absolute best experience I could have in Destiny because I was so all in. I was so pumped for Destiny 2 that on the day that it got announced, I was watching Gathalion, like streaming like the reveal stuff, and I was like, all right, I'm getting a PC. Started
Nice.
ordering everything like that day.
Nice.
It's like, all right, this is all in now. So
Was that your first like legit gaming PC or?
yes, it is.
So
Yes, it
you
is.
were just like randomly stocking up on knowledge on that stuff before and
Well,
just
I used to work. I've worked in like IT stuff before.
Yeah.
Like I worked at Apple
okay.
like years ago, so I had experience. I worked at a CompUSA prior to that, like before I got into any like professional work. So
Right. So you worked
I
at
had
Apple, but
experience.
when did you get into technological work?
Uh,
I'm just busting on Apple. Don't, it's a bad joke. Don't worry about it. But that's really cool though. I'm surprised because if you guys don't know, Michael is like one of the most knowledgeable resources in the community about anything PC related, pretty much. You can think of a question, he probably can answer it off the top of his head.
hopefully.
But yeah, so this week there has been a ridiculous amount of stuff, and I just wanted to mention before we get into all that, I did have a name change this week, guys. My name on Twitch is now Recked Expert. So you may be like, oh, what happened to Recked? His name changed. But yeah.
Go to Twitter and go to Rectum. It's not there. And
Yep,
you're
yep.
like, what?
It's now
Where
Recked
is he?
Expert on Twitter, Recked Expert on Twitch, and then you can get my BNet and stuff like that just from my chat. I still have the same commands and all. Still working out the kinks, rebranding inbound, but there'll be some cool stuff coming up. Anyway, we had a huge patch this week.
Did we ever?
Game-changing stuff, for sure. Destiny 2.0. Where do you guys want to start? You want to just start with patch notes, or do you want to start with, I guess,
Shotguns.
I mean, the place we probably should start is the patch notes, right?
Okay. Yeah, I have them open in front of me. So.
And then like from where we are now to where we're going to be, in the next. They laid out a roadmap.
Okay, so
we should probably start there.
We can start with the patch notes then. Do you want to just kind of go through it in the sequential order that they kind of have laid out? Well, we don't have to go like line by line, but I mean.
No, but I mean, like, is there anything out on there that you saw and you went, huh, that looks weird, and then you went and go. Well, because last week, okay, let's just talk about that, right? Last week we have an apology on GuardianCast because both Recked, myself, and I believe Huffy as well, all said that the Wormhusk Crown would be a better spot. And boy, were we wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel any different to me at all.
Well, it's definitely different, whether or not you think it's like bad or good, because the change we know specifically now went from starting giving you a health bump, I think, of about 25 before, and end starting your regen immediately. Now it's just a flat bump of 50 and no regen whatsoever. So
right. I just saw it as like a flat bump of 25 is what I saw, and I was like, this is garbage.
I'm really surprised, Michael, that you don't feel the difference, because the way like I use it, and I know we've talked about this before, is just like, so after an engagement, dodge roll immediately, and then start regenerating health so you can run into the next engagement at full health. With this new system, sure, you'll have more health than you would, but it still wouldn't be like a smart idea to just go challenge somebody, even if you're like a third of your shield down or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So that's why I just have completely lost any interest in using it at all. I'm more interested now in like maximizing my recovery. I don't know if recovery's changed either. That's another thing.
It's hard to tell from my initial like reactions. I mean, I didn't change my recovery at all, but I didn't notice a difference at all between my hunter and my warlock.
Which seems like, I don't know, like I was talking about it with Huffy, and he was saying like he thinks it feels faster, but he also increased his recovery. But with the faster time to kill, that seems kind of rough in my opinion. That like recovery isn't faster.
True.
Well, it's hard to say. Did either of you mess with the recovery on your? And notice a difference?
I did. I didn't notice like a difference from pre-patch, but like I bumped the recovery up because of losing Wormhusk, so I have my recovery up to 6 now instead of 4.
I have mine at 7 with Wormhusk.
With Wormhusk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe that's why it doesn't feel that different.
Yeah, because you could have abused Wormhusk really before with that mid gunfight. Like when Dudley and I had done testing with it originally, like it actually affected the rate of regeneration with Wormhusk on. So people had less of an opportunity to interrupt you before,
Right.
But for low recov, I was running 4 before, so it doesn't feel like a huge difference going from 4 to 6, but it helps a little bit, for sure. But yeah, there was definitely some things in this patch, EXO, that I was like baffled when I was reading about. But I don't know if you want to jump around or if you want to go through this.
No, I mean, well, like you want to talk about what you're baffled about? Let's do it.
Okay, so the first thing, just reading through what I was baffled about, is the Dawnblade super was buffed. Hang on, let me just Control F.
So you're talking about Warlock?
Yeah, just the super specifically. So Dawnblade increased Dawnblade projectile speed and base tracking strength. Dawnblade was already the strongest super in the game. So that's like a very odd change, in my opinion.
Well, it's not really, right? Voidwalker is actually the strongest, but as
No,
far as
super, not like all around subclass.
no, but I mean, like even if that was the case, if there was all 6 of them grouped up in the thing, like your kill ability is greater in Voidwalker, but yeah, because
this is
like
a roaming super where you can move.
Damn it, I'm talking about damage output.
Well, I mean, that's like circumstantial if you can get like 6 people huddled into a group or something. But with this, the problem with it is you're so fast, the super lasts so long, and then you can literally like get into their spawn and just farm them as they're coming in. You know, it is just like every top tier like player that has been getting 7th columns recently, it's been with Dawnblade because they kill people and they fly into the spawn and then they kill people as they spawn in.
And then they get more super energy for doing it.
Right. So I don't know. This change doesn't make any sense unless like they're seeing data on console that just shows like what I can imagine is like it's so fast on console at 30 FPS that people just can't use it effectively. You know,
Well, people don't want to use it, so it's so like the tracking has to. That actually makes sense because that's why they would increase the tracking.
but
You know, and they don't have enough data from the PC to make that to make the executive decision to not change it on the PC.
yeah, but like that's not going to fix the problem. People still won't be able to see what they're doing. You know, they'll just be throwing blades like and not being able to see what they're doing.
No, because it increases the tracking strength. So what it'll do is it'll make it easier for things to hit when like if you're playing on a console with a controller at 30 FPS, now you're going to actually hit your things that you throw your
if
things
you can
at.
see them when you're
Like,
flying by them. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely I think a buff would have been more justified if they buffed specifically the top tree on Dawnblade that no one's currently using. That would have been welcomed, in my opinion. This seems strange to me.
Well, here's what baffles me about that, right? They didn't increase the PvE damage of Stormcaller at all.
Yeah.
Stormcaller's PvE damage is so bad that it's like it's a joke to use it.
Probably they're worried maybe about it turning back into the D1 ad clearing machine that it used to be. If you had in D1, you used to be able to just clear the entire room of ads with Stormcaller easily.
Well, that's what you can do now with every other Arc Super. The Hunter and the Titan Arc Super, you can do that.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know then. I was just trying to come up with an idea.
It might be the reason. That might be the reason, but it's like we have more effective points to argue our case for a reason for a buff. I mean, so much base damage got increased, especially with the Axiom Bolt, basically all the grenades. I think every single grenade on Warlock got buffed, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was like a lot of. Here's all the grenades that got buffed. I have them up here. So Axiom Bolt, Flashbang, Incendiary, Storm, Scatter, Magnetic Fusion, Flux, Skip, Void Wall. So 2 Warlock grenades specifically. 3 if Fusion. So Fusion, Scatter, and Storm.
Yeah, so that's 1 on each.
1 on each, yeah.
And Axion too.
Oh, and Axion. So yeah, that's 4.
Yeah. So like out of all the grenade buffs, Warlock got the biggest buffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Scatter's still ridiculous, by the way.
I haven't
PvE,
really.
Scatter's still...
Okay, I was gonna say I haven't been killed by Scatter. I don't think in the past 2 days.
I don't think because people aren't using it. They're overwhelmed by the biggest change, and that is
Titans.
The shotguns and supers and snipers.
Well, so that's the weapon slot changes. I still wanted to talk more about the class specific changes before we get into that, if you don't mind, because this is going to be all over the place for sure. So I guess we'll just go through each class. So that's all I really had for the Warlock. The only other thing I would say is, unfortunately, Karnsteins didn't get nerfed, but they feel irrelevant now because of the weapon slot changes. Melees are a lot more rare in this sandbox, and so it doesn't feel worth it to run
I actually was going to say the same thing about the Titan shoulder arms, the ACDO.
Oh yes, ACDO.
And the ACDO both feel less relevant than they did a week ago.
Yeah, because of shoulder charge for sure.
I actually feel most exotics are less relevant now because of how fast everything moves.
Yeah. So with Warlock, go back to your Ophidian aspects. Now with Titans, pretty much the most broken exotic is the Skullfort. Like everyone's running the Skullfort on Striker Titan because you just get unlimited shoulder charges right now. It's a one-hit kill, shoulder charge. It has an incredible range, and you can change directions in the air. And with Titan skating on PC, people are just flying around at 100 miles an hour. I tried it, and it's just crazy. You can just rush into a group of enemies, shoulder charge everybody, and then it's no problem. And you get your health back when you kill them. It's like, it's nuts. You literally get your health back after a shoulder charge, and then like
the
have
tracking on it's so stupid.
Yeah. So I mean that is like the pinnacle of this sandbox and like the problem with it in my opinion. And I think they have no choice at this point but to address Titan skating. I don't want to see them like nerf shoulder charge. I'd like to see them address Titan skating and change that helmet, because that helmet was made when shoulder charge wasn't a one-hit kill, so they didn't anticipate this. I don't.
So you're with me now on the fact that it's borderline cheating.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like before it was like annoying to deal with. Now it's just obnoxious. Like it's you can't even really combat it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I did it for one game, which I'm vehemently against Titan skating, and anybody who does, I'm pretty much gonna like I don't do it anymore because like at this point, like now Bungie has just basically said we're not doing anything about that right now. It's only affecting PC. We've been over it 100 times and why I actually do think it's cheating. But when you actually do it, when I did it, I ran into a group of 4 people. They were shooting at me, but couldn't kill me. I killed 2 of them and punched the next one with like a back-to-back shoulder charge because it didn't take any time to get to the next kill at all, and they couldn't do anything about it.
That's part of the problem. The way it couples with shoulder charge is that your momentum gets going so fast that your shoulder charge is pretty much activated immediately. Like whereas normally you'd have to sprint up to the shoulder charge and it would take like a couple seconds. With this, it's basically just like you start flicking your scroll wheel and then just forget about it, because immediately you can change directions too. Like, so shoulder charge one person, change direction behind cover for a second, and then you're back in a circle and you can just kill the next person. I mean, it's
T6 on my keyboard, but yeah.
When I was using it, I literally noticed, like, after multiple games, I was just like, holy crap, I haven't fired like a normal gun in like 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
just might wind up melee kill.
And then like I would notice like, oh crap, I've had a super for like 3 minutes. I've just been shoulder charging people. Like it's just more effective than anything. Like why even do anything else? You know, it's definitely watering down gameplay.
I will tell you, there's another build that actually has been popping up as of late, and that is the Word of Dawn that I've seen in PvP occasionally. I don't know if you caught it or not, but Lucky and Buttwipe did a video on YouTube. Maybe they haven't uploaded it. I was watching him do it. They had a they tried to have a bunch of people use their super to kill the Dawn Blade, and they were coming up with strategies for how you would deal with the Ward of Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So like for hunters, no super. Like it takes like 8 golden gun shots to destroy the Ward of Dawn now, and they can just hop in and hop out and get an overshield for I think it's like 3 seconds or something like that.
Right.
The only one that actually killed it was both Voidwalkers was the only one to there's a Voidwalker Warlock, right?
It took 2 Novas?
Yeah. No, like like each Nova killed it. 100%.
Okay.
But there was no other super, none that could even come close to killing it.
What about Golden Gun?
Golden Gun took 8 shots and two Golden Gun Celestial Nighthawk shots.
They buffed it by that much damage?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I used to be able to pop it with 1 Golden Gun shot.
Nope. It'll take 2 Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun shots now. It takes 8 regular 6-shooters or 6 3 shots.
I think it used to take 2 6-shooters, and I used to be able to do it with 1 of a 3-shot. So that means they made it 4 times more health. That's what it sounds like off the top of my head.
Must be. It now takes 6 3-shots or 8 6 shots. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's like 9 or 10.
What?
The YouTube video should be coming out either tomorrow. It's bananas. The only thing that you can do
is Nova.
Is Nova, or you have to run in and kill them.
You
and
can't
guess what?
do that.
If they use the blinding thing, the one that blinds you, you're SOL, because they can sit in there for however many amount of time.
Yeah. I've tried multiple times in the past 2 days to run into there's no effective way to kill them. You can try shotgunning them, you can try meleeing, it's not really possible to win.
If you are a Ward of Dawn, because they did the Ward of Dawn, they did a Ward of Dawn against the Ward of Dawn. So it took 5 melees to kill a Ward of Dawn inside of a Ward of Dawn, a Titan inside of it.
I guess the only thing you can really do besides that then is run in there and tether, or run in there and throw a suppression grenade.
Does putting a tether inside actually shut it off?
I think if the Titan is inside.
Huh.
I think.
I feel like it wouldn't.
Well, I know that the suppression grenade used to do it for 100%. Because I know for a fact, I've seen people both get suppressor naded inside of a bubble, or at least pre-patch, unless they've changed something, and their bubble will disappear before they die, or they'll suppressor grenade themselves by accident. Throw a grenade in there to try and outsmart somebody who came in and jump out, but the grenade blows up before they can jump out of the bubble, and then the bubble just disappears. So unless they've changed something in this patch.
And then on top of that, if you do enter it, you get the blinding white light if they choose that sub. I don't know if it's top tree or bottom tree.
I thought that was an exotic.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because you can only have Ward of Dawn on top tree.
Helma Saint 14.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't have it on the bottom tree.
They tried it with that, and he couldn't even see it. It was he tried to kill it with Buttwipe was trying to kill it with his Sentinel Titan, and it took him 2 supers to kill fully of the bashes to kill it.
Well, that would be a weird way to go about it.
He had to do the left right combo, left click right click combo, punch bash or something like that, and he was it was it was a weird triangle that he was doing, but yeah, it took him 2 supers to do
Interesting. So I want to talk about the hunter stuff now, because there's a lot of weird stuff here too. So first things first, the thing I was most excited for was this Night Stalker change making tether better. Huffy really likes it. I've seen a lot of people be super successful with a certain play style. But the only thing that they've said that has changed is Shadow Shot Tether will find enemy targets more reliably within its search radius. So that's a weird wording, first of all. It doesn't say the range is bigger. It doesn't say it'll activate super, or it'll activate quicker. It just says it'll
No,
find targets
that's
more
what Chris.
reliably. Like what?
It feels like it's faster.
Yeah.
Was it hard? Was it what's his name said it activates faster? It does. It does feel faster.
So when I was using it, I noticed, and obviously like the lag plays a factor, but like especially like dawn blades and hammers, if you catch them in it, they can't just pass through it anymore, but they can still like throw an extra hammer or sword before it takes them out of their super, which is annoying. So it's definitely better. There's another thing though that's not listed here. That have you guys noticed? Like the invis looks a little bit different visually.
It's a little bluer.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Like Huffy was saying, it was harder to see. I don't know if it's harder to see, but it definitely it looks different. Like they've changed something visually about it, in my opinion.
There is a bug that might be affecting everything right now as a universal contrast ratio or something like that. Something about the universal contrast being it's going to be fixed in 2.0.0.1.
Okay.
Which is next week, but they said there is a bug that's affecting like everything in the game that's making it look a little off right now, so that might be it.
Okay. So next thing, this is like one of the biggest disappointments about Hunter, in my opinion, is the throwing knife does 118 damage to the head. Are you kidding me? Like, shoulder charge is one hit killing and 118 damage to the head? I mean, you literally do 100 with an uncharged melee on any class.
How much does the actual throwing knife to the body do?
100, I think.
100, I thought they said it's 144.
Nope.
For a melee. Well, I mean, if it's a body shot, it's 100.
Right, but it's 118 to the head with a throwing knife right now.
Oh, it's 118?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So Ophidius Spate is your new favorite exotic because you can throw 2.
Yeah, you can throw 2 bad throwing knives. Golden Gun still just seems like the worst class in the game to me, by far. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know if this is a bug or if this is the way that they chose to make it, but Damage literally said on Twitter, like, throwing knife has been brought up in Damage to match other melees, and it's like, it hasn't really changed. Before it was 90 and 110, now it's 100 and 118. That's not really like coming up to a 2-hit melee from a 3-hit melee, you know, because you're not.
Wait, so we're in a 2-hit melee right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how much damage does a normal melee do?
Uncharged, like if you don't have your charge cooldown, it's 100.
Okay, so then it's 200 for sure. Now, if you killed somebody as a Ward of Dawn, another reason to do Ward of Dawn. If you killed somebody, with that Sentinel build, that gives you the overshield, right? Is that the one that gives you an overshield if you kill somebody? It also gives you a damage buff when you melee somebody. It does 200 melee when you melee. So it's a 1-hit melee if you have that overshield from the Ward of Dawn.
Oh wow!
Like you have to kill somebody to get that extra. Like you have to be the Sentinel that did the Ward of Dawn, and then you kill somebody, and then you get a melee kill, and then you get the damage buff, and it's like a.
I didn't know that was a thing on Ward of Dawn. That's crazy.
Well, it's a melee kill with that subclass. We'll give you an overshield and damage buff, and that damage buff is 100%. For like I think the next melee
I knew like Synthoceps like buffed your melee damage, but I
wasn't using Synthoceps when he did it.
Wow, that's really weird. So one other thing I wanted to mention, even though it's not listed here, is Arc Strider. So first of all, I'd say Top Tree, which was what I was using before, is again neutered because it's all based around melees. Like you get your health back on melee, you get your dodge back on melee, you get your melee back on dodge. Right. But with everyone meleeing less because of shotguns, it's not worth using. And the Worm Husk is nerfed too, so that whole play style just is not the way to go. Bottom Tree is much better. But the problem is focus breathing is bugged right now and not working. So literally, like, both trees of Arc Strider in the passive abilities, which is where it's always been strong, aren't working properly or like aren't effective anymore. And the super, which was always one of the weakest roaming supers because it used to take 2 hits to kill another super, now takes 3 hits to kill another super. Are you kidding me? Like, you literally have to hit a Sentinel or a Dawnblade or a Hammer 3 times to kill them. And here's the worst part: even another Arc Strider is a problem. So before, you could use the combo, left click, right click, and it would do like a big like smack that let out like energy in front of you and extended the range. I hit an Arc Strider with that. It does 160 damage now and doesn't even kill them. What did they do to this class? It's like completely horrible now all of a sudden.
Maybe it was because they have the new subclasses coming that they wanted to.
I think that honestly what they did was
make every other class irrelevant.
I think this is an unintended consequence. I think that they've made supers more resilient against things because they want people to be able to go on multi-kill sprees and supers. And they didn't remember that Arc Strider already took multiple hits to kill other things, so now it takes like multiple hits, which just feels horrible. Like, what? Yeah. Don't even try and attack another super because
it takes 5. If you Ward of Dawn, and you were to Ward of Dawn, and you have an Arc Strider coming in, like their best chance to kill you is to kill you inside of your bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes 5 swipes to the things to kill you.
Ground slams, you mean?
No, just attacks. Like 5 attacks. 5 separate attacks to kill you inside of that Ward of Dawn.
Okay.
And how many shotgun shots to kill the Arc Strider?
2. It's 2.
Well, 2, and then the next, like, okay, so let's say if you were Ward of Dawn, you already killed somebody. Well, then you can probably kill him in that. Like, I think it's 3 shotgun shells can kill him. Like 3 Balagans can kill a Ward of Dawn.
No.
To kill the Arc Strider, he's asking.
Oh, to kill the Arc Strider.
It's 2 shotgun shots, but the only thing I'm not sure about is if you can shotgun melee and kill them. That's possible. I don't know. I haven't tested that. But yeah,
what happened to the Raiden Flux?
Nothing.
Something happened to the Raiden Flux?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or is an unintended consequence of their stuff because something happened and I don't know.
I haven't used it, but I didn't.
I haven't used it either. I didn't know that anything changed.
Yeah, I haven't read any changes about that at all.
It's not listed at all. What did it change in PvE? Specifically in PvE. Not sure.
Yeah,
I'll get the answer, but
okay.
Flames don't count it towards lasting longer. What? That's a big change, because that's an entire way to kill what's his name?
Argo or Callus.
Yeah.
Or Kaur, right?
Valus, whatever. Callus 2.0, whatever.
Yeah.
The light attacks it lasts way shorter, so it's not even a worthwhile exotic anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. The Night Stalker buff to tether is nice, but other than that, it feels like Hunter in general has gotten a net nerf, even though they haven't technically adjusted anything. Everything else in the sandbox has moved so much that, I don't know, like hitting people 3 times in a super is completely unacceptable. And then Golden Gun, a 2-second buff was not really sufficient. The throwing knife doesn't do anything. The passive buffs, like the change here, not good enough. Practice make perfect, now grants super energy on throwing knife kills. That's, okay, fine, but like the class needs to be completely overhauled, and that's like very small changes to that. And in general, the only thing they did that was nice was Marksman's Dodge can proc kill clip now, but I haven't even been using any kill clip weapons, so I haven't really been able to test that out.
I was actually thinking that, you know how like when you're on Golden Gun and you pop it and everybody just runs away, they just hide from you.
Yeah.
And you can't get them.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to get your line of sight so you can use your hit scan weapon that only has 3 shots.
Yeah.
What if it had the same sort of ability as that one Warlock Exotic Rift, the chest piece, where the closest enemy is wall hacked to them? I think that would be like a good like balance to how just very useless Golden Gun is most of the time.
So
well, with all of these nerfs
even if they're wall
to...
hacked, do you think you'd be able to kill them? And if you could
because
shoot...
you'd be able to come around the corner knowing exactly where you need to be aimed.
Yeah, true. If you, but unless they're a Titan, they can just skate away.
True, or they could just skate into you when you're dead.
I'm actually curious, like where their heads at with the Hunter class entirely.
Yeah.
Because they've really messed up. Orpheus rigs really messed it up.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. I haven't used it yet, but
the Orpheus rigs now doesn't give orbs on bloom kills. So if you don't have your super energy from the 6 or 7 that you got, and you didn't say it even gives less energy now. So if you have 7 things that used to give you 100% energy 100% of the time, now it doesn't because it's based on the type of enemy that you tethered.
Yeah.
So if you tether a bigger guy or like let's say it's Argus, right? And you tether a a bunch of Vexes that are just red bar and that it might not give you your tether back.
Yeah.
But if you tether like a Minotaur and like 3 Vexes, it's absolutely going to give you your thing back. So what you did before though, if you didn't get it back, is you were like, oh well, I'll just shoot these guys and I'll get some energy from that. No, you won't anymore. That's not the case anymore. Now you have to be a lot more careful with where you actually launch your. In some ways it's good. In some ways, in a lot of ways though, like it changes the way you use that exotic. So
it's a nerf.
It's a nerf.
I would say it's a nerf. Yeah. I mean, they said they wanted to make it more consistent, but everything I've seen about it says you get your super back less often than you used to be able to. So I would call that a nerf.
And then the changes to the Worm Husk, the changes to the Raiden Flux, the changes to and that wasn't even written down.
Yeah, I don't know about the Raiden Flux. I need to know what happened to it, because all it did was extend the timer before, so I don't know what they did to it.
Well, it extends a timer before, and it doesn't take away, like the big benefit of it is it doesn't take away any super energy for swings.
Okay.
Like from what I've noticed, and I guess it's slower now, and it's not as usable.
Yeah. So you want to talk about
for hunters though?
The weapon slot changes?
Yeah, well, we can. I mean, do we talk about like basically Warlocks getting buffed, Titans getting buffed, Hunters getting nerfed, the typical.
Yeah, I would say Titans didn't get buffed. It's like they were already strong, and now it's completely out of control. It's not even like, oh yeah, Titans feel about the strongest of the 3. It's like, I don't know why you'd play anything else.
I mean, Warlock is the best if you're like 2-manning or 3-manning or things like that. Warlock is the absolute best, and Warlock is going to get a huge buff when it comes, when Forsaken comes, which is why I'm actually, really, really, really considering going a Warlock main just straight up. And I've been Hunter since D1, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another like weird thing I wanted to mention about the exotics. Knucklehead radar change, enhanced radar resolution when crouching.
So what does that even do?
More pie slices.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if you have Night Stalker? That already has more pie slices.
Exactly.
It won't do anything. but yeah, it's just like That they thought that was like a worthwhile change.
It'll jump into 16th and it'll just for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just read that and I was like, somebody thought this was going to be game changing.
Advanced radar instead.
Like it showed the dot.
Dots, yeah. That
Oh
would be
my
amazing.
god. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But like,
I just stay crouched the entire time.
So I wouldn't even use Knucklehead radar right now if it always gave me radar resolution, but only when crouching. What? Like I don't know.
Are there guns that do that too? Like when you're not crouching?
Yeah.
Well,
it's like when you're like critically wounded or something like that.
Was it Mida and Mini multi-tools? They did that too.
That's Third Eye. That's Third Eye.
I'm thinking of advanced radar. Doesn't advanced radar just always give you the better pie sizes?
Keen Eye does.
I really thought I thought it had something to do with being hurt, but maybe that was D1. I don't know.
Keen Eye does in on Night Stalker. It does.
Keen Scout. Yeah.
Yeah, Keen Scout. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's talking about it's like a weapon perk, and I remember it, and I've used it before, but I really thought it had something to do with you being like red bar. I don't know. But anyway, there was like huge changes to the weapon system. Like we've been talking about this for months, what was going to happen here. You can use shotguns, snipers, fusion rifles, and single shot grenade launchers, the breech loading grenade launchers in the special slot now. In kinetic or energy slot, you spawn with 2, and then you have to pick up ammo from other dead guardians. I'll say, like, from my perspective, this unfairly favors shotguns, unfortunately, because of the way that the ammo economy works. It's similar to Supremacy, where if you killed somebody with a shotgun, it was most advantageous because you'd be right there to pick up the crest. Similar to this, where you kill somebody with a shotgun and you're right there to pick up the ammo for more shotgun ammo. And especially if you're Titan skating, you can really like zip around the map and just be picking up ammo nonstop. So that like goes back to the Titans being favored. Unfortunately, as a sniper, you snipe somebody across the map and you're just not getting it. There's no way. You're just not getting that ammo. Like, somebody's going to pick it up before you can get there. Don't even try and run for it. So you get 2 shots with a sniper. Even if you kill both people, then you're just waiting till your next death, more than likely. Unless somebody happens to die next to you or you kill them with your primary, you're just not getting more ammo, which is a huge problem. I feel, honestly, and this is, like, weird as hell. I did not expect to be saying this, but I feel like I have less sniper ammo now than when it was in the heavy slot.
You do.
Because heavy came in so frequently before I could have it like most of the game. Now I feel like I'm just waiting to die.
You get a ton of shots with heavy sniper now too.
Yeah. Oh really? How much like on Darcy?
I feel like I got 7 in Whisper yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't use Whisper though. It's just too slow. I
think it's because they pushed it over the top because rocket. We're back to the rocket launchers getting 2 again.
Yeah.
That's why
Boop
everything
6.
gets more. So Boop Cannon still gets 6. Yeah.
Play of the game still gets 4, and it got buffed. But yeah, so overall, like, I like the direction of these weapon changes. I think they're bold, and it was a needed change, but there's huge problems. And one of the other things that's a problem with sniper rifles is, again, with the supers, you can't kill a super by hitting them in the head with a sniper, even with the highest impact of sniper rifle. So if I hit like...
What about Whisper with box breathing?
That is a heavy sniper. I mean specifically.
Okay.
Regular sniper rifles.
But does that work? Do we know?
Whisper works, yeah.
Whisper works.
Yeah, I think even Darcy works actually.
Don't you need the aim on for a second before it works?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
Yeah.
The regular sniper rifles though, they've done this weird damage scaling thing on supers for some reason, because my actual sniper rifle is doing the same body shot damage and the same headshot damage as it was doing before the patch. But then if you snipe a super in the face, which I've done to multiple different supers now, I've done it to Arc Strider, Sentinel, Dawnblade, Hammer, and Striker. And with the highest impact, it does 188 to the head, which is like just enough to not kill them. And with the like Maxim type, where you get 4 in the mag, it only does 152 to the head, which is abysmal. Like, it's just not going to kill people, unfortunately. I feel like that's a huge problem. Like, this specials in Destiny 1 were designed to take down supers, and now it feels like a detriment to even try. Like, you might as well just try and shoot them with a hand cannon. You'd be better off, you know, and it just feels bad. Like, I remember listening to a podcast with Bungie on Crucible Radio where they talked about something they refer to as the player contract, and they said one of the rules they try and abide by is that, as a general rule, snipers, if you hit somebody in the head, it should always be a kill, except in extenuated circumstances, and I don't think that this meets that criteria. Like, always they have killed supers, and it just feels really bad to not be able to do it, especially given
after
the
they've
sandbox.
said that, you know, everything's getting buffed. You know, the whole impression was that everything is getting buffed to the point to where everything would kill a lot faster. And when we get back to the impression of it not being that way, and it's like, well, did it actually though?
Right.
You know, so how much stuff under the hood did they nerf? Like, because there's some of the PvE stuff, like most of the PvE stuff for Hunter unfortunately got nerfed. Most of the stuff on Warlock didn't really change, and Warlock is already a really, really good class in PvE. Titan, obviously they didn't do anything about Titan skating this patch, so it's in for good?
I hope not.
How could they fix it?
Well, they could change the cooldown on Catapult.
No, the way that they could fix it is they could change how much it actually gives you as a burst to make it not like you could still do it, but it wouldn't give you a speed burst on the next burst. Like, for momentum wise, like,
well, that's what I'm saying. They changed the catapult jump.
It has to do with the catapult lift, yeah. Or they could change the Lion Rampants themselves, because without Lion Rampants, Titan skating is pretty much useless. Like, it's a combination of the two things that make it really, really bad.
Yeah.
But with the insurmountable skull fort, you can do that in PvP, so I don't know. So they'd have to do something with catapult lift to fix it.
Yeah, and I don't think they really have much of a choice, to be honest with you, because the way that, like, the sandbox is right now, if, like, it doesn't change relatively soon, I don't see myself investing a lot of time into it, honestly, until, like, some fundamental things could change. The other thing I wanted to mention with the weapon slot changes is there's an unfortunate bug on hand cannons and apparently a couple other type of weapons, which I didn't know about, but that has glitched the recoil pattern and made them feel really, really bad to use. The workaround right now is that you have to double tap escape every time you spawn in from a death to fix the recoil pattern. But it's a major letdown because in this new, like, shotgun meta, you want strong primaries to be able to, you know, 3-tap down people rushing at you in a straight line with a shotgun. But if you feel like you can't even land your shots, it makes it feel even worse.
Have you played with the Ikelos SMG since the update?
Yes. Yep.
Have you noticed the buff?
No.
It got an insane buff.
Actually,
SMGs in general. Like, I was killing people with the Risk Runner. I was killing people with the, you know, with the Huckleberry, with the Ikelos SMGs. SMGs are just nutty right now.
Well, what I noticed is that SMGs got buffed for precision damage. Well, that's what they got buffed for. The body shot damage is really bad. It's bizarre because you can actually kill in like 0.6 seconds if you hit all headshots with the SMG, but it takes over 1 second if you hit all body shots. So there's like a huge disparity now. I feel like they're still not worth using though, because I tried pairing it with a sniper anyway, and again, you run out of ammo real quick, and then you're basically like running around with an SMG, and you can only choose engagements at a very close range, you know, so that really pigeonholes you a little bit. So unless you run it with something like a hand cannon still, like, you know, an old style loadout, I don't think that's a very viable option.
A lot of these changes, though, you know, they're put in the shadow of another change that obviously happened, but you know, Bungie actually hasn't officially said whether or not it's in there or not. They said that it was unintentional if it happened. What I'm alluding to is, of course, the skill-based matchmaking that is making games stupid. And I guess I'm looking at it right now, but it says Bungie Help said that they deployed a fix to all matchmaking services to address the longer than usual matchmaking times in Crucible and other activities. Matchmaking based on player skill is still disabled in quick play. Will continue to monitor all matchmaking and update you on any further changes. But I feel like that's wrong.
I thought that they said that. Yeah, they said that on
it's being fixed on the 4th.
On Tuesday the 4th that's being put in.
This was tweeted out today at.
Oh, I haven't played since then, so I definitely can't speak to that.
Yeah, but this was tweeted out like 12, or not even 12 hours, like 2 hours ago.
Right. I haven't played since then. Have you?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if they've changed something since then that's good.
But they're saying that matchmaking based on skill is still disabled in quick play, meaning that it was disabled the entire time.
Well, no. Did you read the TWAB? Because they mentioned that it accidentally got re-enabled, and that they were going to fix it.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually read that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I read the TWAB, but you know, when I read my PvE stuff, I get excited. I read my PvE stuff, and then.
What they said was, hang on. Oh yeah, since the year 2 deployment on Tuesday, we've seen reports that matchmaking time in the Crucible may be longer than usual. While no deliberate changes were made to matchmaking, we are investigating the issue. We're planning a fix that will increase the speed of matchmaking queues. As our investigation continues, please stay tuned to Bungie Help. Upon the launch of Forsaken, skill matchmaking will work in the same manner it has in recent weeks, i.e. no skill-based matchmaking. In the near future, we'll preview any planned improvements to in Crucible Labs first, so we can tune that experience collaboratively.
Yeah, so Bungie Help said that matchmaking wasn't enabled. That's what they said when they said stay tuned to Bungie Help. This is the tweet that they're referring to.
Okay.
And it says the matchmaking based on skill player is still disabled in quick play, meaning that it was disabled in quick play.
I have a feeling what might have been happening is that whatever is causing the really long queue times was allowing it to feel like it was picking players that would make it feel like skill-based matchmaking. But it was like off on their end. But there's like whatever the bug was that was causing the really long queues was making it have that result. Like it's symptom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But like, yeah, so like you and I queue at the same time, we're gonna find each other all the time because of the way the system, you know, takes forever to find a match, and so of course it's gonna find us together because we're looking together. But like 4,000 other people just found a different match, but we're looking at exactly the same time because our game ended at the same time, right? So it's gonna find us, and that keeps the cycle moving of like, why am I playing the same people?
Right. But it's good to see them say, like, officially going forward that they want skill-based
that's really good to hear that they don't want skill-based matchmaking involved.
Yeah, so they've listened to player feedback on that front, which is good. Because honestly, I've been like curious how much of my negative experience has been because of that alone. Because
even competitive play, it having skill-based matchmaking on there, like you can get the rank. Like it's not based on your skill. Even then, it's based on your
rank.
Like your rank, right?
Yeah.
So that's even good, you know, if you're a low rank, unless you play with somebody who's really high rank.
Right. Because it goes by the highest person, not like an average or anything like that.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, I'd say, unfortunately, overall, I don't. My impression, I haven't really been enjoying the sandbox so far in
My impression
PvP.
so far of PvE and PvP, so far is that I think like we're in the same kind of place we were with pre-patch Destiny, like pre-launch Destiny. Well, not pre-launch Destiny, but I had a really bad experience in Crucible in the beginning because I didn't have the weapons, or I didn't play the right way, or I was trying to play a different way than that I thought I wasn't playing. You know what I mean? It's like I there was all these things that were like causing me to play badly. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I got into it, once I got into the games, once I got the weapons that I was looking for, a lot of that changed. We don't know because there's so much wonky stuff that's happening this week. It's really hard to base, 1 week off of that. Like I'd probably agree with you with Crucible. I had a generally positive experience in Crucible in the past couple of weeks, and I have a generally negative opinion of it now.
Right.
Just because of all the changes. But I think that has to do with Forsaken right around the corner, which makes it even more exciting.
I hope so. But so here's my concern. Bungie historically has taken a long time to fix things, and so something like this hand cannon bug, I'm hoping that it's something
Mm-hmm.
that they can get ironed out within the next week, because if they can't, I can't play that like that Crucible. Like, I don't even know what weapon to use with no hand cannons available. So if it takes them like as long to fix that hand cannon bug as it took them to fix the sniper scope issue, like months and months and months,
Well, thankfully,
I don't know, man.
the 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 Crucible doesn't require wins to get your legendary gear. It just requires matches played.
Mm-hmm.
3 out of 3, which used to be a percentage based, and now it's just play 3 Crucible matches, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they changed that, because like we talk about the director and how much better the director is now.
Yeah, it looks clean.
Looks really clean. Everything is has its place. They're all, if you want this thing, you have to go to this planet to do it. It's not in the milestones, although there
Right.
is still milestones, which is weird.
Yeah.
But that stuff like, hey, you have something that's active right now that you're working on, that all your progress on any planet's going to be like, that's what that stuff is. I don't know how I feel about them not telling us where the powerful gear is, like all the elements of getting powerful gear.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go to the raid to see that you'll get powerful gear from the raid. So like some activities are like hidden completely, like the raid, for example, and the raid layers. I mean, obviously we know we're getting powerful gear out of there, but it still would have been nice to know that, like, do the raid, like even like Nessus should have a thing that has that on there, and when you go click on Nessus, it goes to the Nessus orbit, and then the Nessus orbit has a thing on there to show you where the raid is. So I think that's how they should have done that, but that just makes that really interesting with how we're going to find our, like, things are going to be hidden in the game.
Yeah.
And we'll have to find
it. Which is good. I think one thing I noticed with that change is that we're not going to be able to edge in preparation for Forsaken like we thought. It doesn't look like you can get your powerful rewards to go to the Postmaster from like doing the Nightfall.
Yeah, you'll have to do that before Tuesday.
But it doesn't, like, it auto decrypts, so it won't go to the Postmaster.
Well, yeah. The clan XP will auto decrypt.
But like the Nightfall too, like at the end of the
Nightfall, you get it right at the end of the Nightfall. You get it.
There's no more.
Yeah. So the only 2 that you can actually do is the Mars, but you'll want to turn that in before Forsaken anyway, because right now it's bugged.
And yeah, it'll give you the rewards you're looking for anyway. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying yesterday. It's like, why fix the bug? Because next week is just going to give us Forsaken.
I don't think they're going to bother fixing it, honestly.
They said they were, but here's the actual problem. People without Forsaken are getting Forsaken loot. That's the actual problem.
That's funny.
Yeah, but they can't wear it anyway.
Well, they can wear it right now.
Oh,
as long as it's not over 400.
Yeah, so that's a weird thing because basically you can only wear it if you're such a low level that it comes out under level 40 or under level 30.
If you're 405, if you're 405 and you go turn it in, you're going to get something that's level 35 and I think it's like 415 or something like that.
Exactly.
Nobody can wear that.
Right. So like that's weird. It's like penalizing the players that are the highest in a way, but yeah, I understand what you're saying though. Like they're going to have Forsaken armor or something, but honestly,
I think that's the major concern with because when I was reading
but if they change it now,
bother?
some people will be at an advantage and other people won't be able to achieve the same thing. So it doesn't make any sense to try and fix it at this point.
Well, it's gonna go in the week 1 patch, which that's why I was like, why bother fixing it unless? And then I thought, okay, so people without Forsaken are using the gear now.
Oh, so they can't do it every week going forward. And won't be able to just keep getting Forsaken loot. Yeah, I guess they have to fix it then.
Yeah. So people without Forsaken are still getting Forsaken loot. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And still able to wear it.
Yeah.
Will they have their stuff retroactively taken away?
Probably
no,
not.
But it'll say require. Like you can get stuff. You can still get Warmind if you don't have Warmind, but you have no access to it. Right now, the problem is they have access to it.
It's weird to me that there's people that play Destiny that much, but then they don't have the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Destiny, at least the base game and the 2 expansions, I think before Forsaken, are now going to be free on PlayStation Plus.
For a month.
Yeah, for 1 month.
Yeah.
Well, the way that you get PlayStation Plus stuff for free, PSA for anybody who has never had PlayStation Plus before and are thinking about getting it, is you have a subscription that gives you a free game once a month, and as long as you download it and keep your subscription active, you have access to that game. So you can
have it forever then.
As long as you're a PlayStation Plus member, yes, you have access to it forever.
But you still have to buy Forsaken, right?
Yeah, you'd still have to buy Forsaken, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a pretty big thing. And then if we're going to talk about that, we might as well talk about the PlayStation Plus or PlayStation blog did a post on the PlayStation exclusive armor, which looks stupid. The Strike looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, the Strike looks amazing. I'm pretty pissed about that.
And the weapon is the only weapon that people have been clamoring for in Destiny.
The Void Trace Rifle.
The Void Trace Rifle.
Yeah.
Called the Wave Splitter, I believe, is going to be in the thing. And if you've ever seen, did you see the perk?
No, but I did watch the footage of it.
It's not a spoiler or anything like that because the PC and Xbox, I apologize, spoiler warning for anyone who plays on PS4, but it's not going to spoil anything for anybody who plays on PC or Xbox because we're not getting it till next year.
Yeah.
It oscillates between the 3 varying power levels of the Void. So it'll have 3 oscillating beams that happen at the same time, and it'll get stronger as you keep firing it. Yeah. So it'll just ridiculous damage.
They really know how to make these exclusives feel bad. Especially the Strike. Like, I was always angry about not getting to play the Taken King Strike. I still have never played it, by the way.
Did they not launch it on Destiny 1?
The Taken King Strike, what was it called? That came out for PlayStation.
I can't remember which one it was.
It was the one where you had to like pick up the ball and then like
the Vex one.
Yeah. Never got to play it because it was for 2 years on PlayStation only, and then it only came out on Xbox after Destiny 2 was already launched. So.
The Dado Strike.
Yeah, the Dado Strike. So that sucked, and now this is going to be largely the same because it has like interesting relic mechanics and stuff like that. Like I saw them like holding like a shield relic thing, and I was like, okay.
Well, this one at least we know we're getting it next year.
Yeah, that's what they said about the Taken King too. And then they delayed Destiny 2 by a year, Yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason why was because the contract, they had two separate contracts, one with Sony and one with Activision.
Yeah.
And Activision's contract said that we will release this game at this time, and Sony's contract it said we're going to give you exclusive content until the next game releases.
Right.
So for them it was like until Destiny 2 releases, which was 2 years out, and for Activision it was like we're launching Destiny 2, but we need an extra year.
Right.
Kind of thing, which is why year 3 sucked. I don't think that's going to be the same case in year 3 Destiny 2. I hope to God this is over by year 3 and we don't see any PlayStation Plus or PlayStation exclusives.
I don't see it going anywhere, man. I think it's going to be for the entire IP.
Because that doesn't make us able to play the PlayStation Plus exclusives or PlayStation exclusives for next year.
And then Destiny when a new game comes out, we're in the same problem.
Like, well, we're going to be in Destiny 3, and then they're going to get, like, they're always going to be one step ahead, essentially, in that way.
Wasn't the exclusivity contract with Sony for 5 years?
I have no idea.
I swore it was 5 years.
I have no idea. I just figured it would be for the life of the game.
They might even re-up it. Who knows?
That's true.
You know, Activision likes money, and I'm sure
they like money. Yeah,
they, you know, that it's a paid exclusive. I mean, to be fair, Microsoft and Sony do exactly the same things. I just wish the practice would stop. Both Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo all do the same crap, like, because they can't afford full-fledged console exclusives anymore because they're way too expensive. So what they do is they pay for console exclusive stuff,
right,
that you get in like that's exclusive to the console or something. So Microsoft, Sony both do it. It's terrible. You should stop doing it. Stop it.
The other thing with the PlayStation Plus thing, like, they're gonna get a huge player population boost, and it's like they already had like the highest player population of any platform. So it'd be really nice if we could get a deal like that on Blizzard, because we could really use extra players. You know, like if they could find some way to be like, oh, all World of Warcraft subscribers get to play Destiny for free, that would be good, in my opinion.
Yeah. Or anybody who buys Black Ops 4.
Yeah, that'd be fine too. Like, run some kind of promo, because we need more people on PC. Badly.
Can you imagine what PvP is going to be like when Black Ops 4 community enters it, though?
A lot of cheaters.
Well, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is pretty crazy, but I enjoyed it. I liked having to hit the button to heal yourself that you had, and I think it's the first time they've ever done it. They're making some bold changes in Black Ops 4.
So we got a Vidoc sort of outlining this annual pass finally, and we have some information on the annual pass. I'm not going to go through it like point by point, but
there's some spoilers in there, so let's try to avoid those.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the value proposition. Like, a lot of people were wondering, like, I get a lot of questions like, is the annual pass worth it, and for the money? And my answer has been, honestly, we have no idea. Like, they haven't told us enough information. If you're on the fence at all, I would recommend not buying it until we know more. And I would say that recommendation still holds true, even with this information that they've put out. Yep. If you're on the fence after reading this, just wait till we get more information. But you can read through this if you want to know what each piece is going to, what each update is going to bring, and what you're paying for. If you're a Destiny enthusiast like me, I just bought it anyway because I know I'm going to be playing it anyway. So
spoiler free, we know we're getting new exotics with every single every single annual pass content of all three: Black Armory, Joker's Wild, and Penumbra. We know we're getting a new raid layer. We know we're getting new collection, new triumphs, new bonus rewards, new stuff. The experience has changed from content to content. Like, right now, we're in the season of the Outlaw, which is the free update. And then the annual pass is going to give us more. I think the coolest thing about this, and I was talking about this last night, the coolest thing about this entire annual pass to me is the final update actually gets me the most excited. The one that's coming in summer, Penumbra.
Okay.
So it's Season of the Redacted. We don't know what the heck is in there.
Yeah.
We know there's a new raid layer, but like, what if literally everything about that
It's all secret.
about that thing is completely secret and requires community participation to,
well, that's what they said in the Vidoc about it specifically.
I mean,
that sounds awesome.
blows my mind.
They said like, they took like the Whisper of the Worm quest and they wanted to make like the whole content update basically.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
we won't have access to the raid layer until we somehow find the secret.
Yeah.
We won't have access to the activity experiences until we find the secrets. We won't have access to the legendaries or the triumphs or anything until we find it.
The takeaway quote from this Vidoc, in my opinion, was where they said they're like, there's historically been content droughts in Destiny, and we wanted to change that with the annual pass so that there's always something to do throughout the year. And man, I really hope you can hold up to that, because that, if not, that is going to be something that gets played in YouTube videos complaining about the game over and over and over again. You know, like if that's not, like, that design doesn't hold up, if you end up being like these content releases end up being things you can blow through in like a week, or they're just time-gated activities with very little content, it's going to be a problem. These need to be substantial. So I have high expectations for them, and I hope that they can hold up to the way that they're selling it in this Vidoc.
Side note about that third expansion. Do you guys know what Penumbra means?
Yes.
He did. He explained it in the Vidoc.
Did he give you the general description or the astronomy-related description?
I think he gave us the astronomy-related description.
Yeah.
The one where it's the shadow that is cast on the moon by the Earth.
Well, the light is cast. Well, the way he described it was light is inside, like shadow is inside of light cast from something.
Right. So that's like the general one. The astronomy one is like specifically the shadow that Earth casts on the moon.
Okay.
So I think that's like maybe foreshadowing what's coming.
A wizard.
I have a feeling it's going to be related to Callus.
Huh.
Originally, you did?
I feel like it's just straight up related to Callus. Even if in that picture, the roadmap picture,
yeah,
that little thing on fire looks like the little things on fire on Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say.
And then there's that one shot in the Vidoc that shows them entering the really, really dark like doorway that's just Callus's mouth.
Right.
So.
There was another launch trailer this week too that was pretty substantial. Obviously.
The launch trailer.
Yeah.
The launch trailer. They always have a launch trailer for every, but I mean, I think that was cool.
I mean, obviously you're avoiding spoilers, then like don't watch it. But again, like if you've been paying attention for the past 6 months, there's not going to be anything that shocks you in there. You know, like there's definitely the information's been out there.
Have you looked at DestinySets.com?
No. Did something change?
all the exotics are in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, all the exotics from Forsakens are in there, and if you go to the Data Explorer, you can look at their perks.
Is that a last word?
No. But to be fair,
it looks like they have. Okay, so if you are avoiding spoilers, you don't necessarily have to avoid Destiny sets. I'm looking at it right now. They've blacked out the thumbnails with a generic thumbnail.
Some of them they have. The ones we know they have, but they actually show their thing like the wave splitter they have, but you can't see the actual perk itself. The thing, what did you say, Michael?
Last word.
Oh, last word. Yeah. Last word. Sorry. All of the exotics there so far are from drop sources, world drops. So any quest exotics they don't have in the game yet because those aren't actually.
They're classified.
Because they're classified. Yeah.
Well, Ace of Spades is a quest exotic, and that's
but we know that's in the campaign.
Yeah.
I'm positive that's going to come through the campaign.
Yeah.
That's probably the last thing, and then we kill the like that's probably going to be our here. Thank you for beating Forsaken. Here's your Ace of Spades.
That's what I would expect.
Where are the class-specific guns, by the way? Like,
oh, they said they're not doing them. They said they're not.
Again?
Well,
like that.
no, they said in Forsaken. It was in.
Oh, okay.
It was in the Q&A that they did with Game Informer. Somebody asked like any class specific weapons, and they said not in Forsaken, which is
Gotcha.
kind of a letdown, but meh. I wanted to see some, but I want to see them do it right, to be honest. Like I wasn't really fully satisfied with like the gunsmith quest line, where it was just like level it up a little bit every week and then you get a class specific weapon. I'd like to see a more traditional MMO style like epic quest for each class, where it's like a PvE weapon that has like a very specific use case that's really, really good at what it does, and it's a hard thing to attain. Like it takes a lot of investment. Where you
Touch of Malice?
Well, like specific to a class though. You know, so like there'd be like a warlock one where it's like, do you have your warlock epic weapon because it does this, this, and this, and like helps you heal people or something like that. That'd be like a cool thing to look at in my opinion. But like PvE, obviously, you don't want like super heavily invested epic weapons for PvP where it's just like, if you don't have this, you might as well not play. That would be kind of dumb.
Gallahorn. We don't want you if you don't have it.
Yeah, right.
It's what it's gonna be. I mean, somebody joked about Gallahorn possibly coming back, and I said I don't believe that Gallahorn's coming in Forsaken, like, and in the entirety of a year. But I do believe Forsaken will, the next possible expansion, year 3, will have Gallahorn in it.
What if
I think all of them are coming back, honestly, at some point. Yeah.
Well, how do they bleed into Destiny 3? What are they going to do? Lose our light again? They pretty
honestly, Destiny 3 needs to be a continuation and expansion of the universe. If they pull the reset button again, we're gonna have the same problems, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
So and honestly, recycling exotics year after year, taking them away, bringing them back, it's gonna get old.
Yeah, because let's say we have every single exotic and we just have to keep pushing the boundaries of what the exotics can do. By the time year 3 comes around, like, what we're gonna be like, oh, I just want my my Ace of Spades back because that I had that in Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. I don't have it in Destiny 3 now.
It's a paradoxical problem though, because the way Infusion works right now, you can always bring things forward. So if they make something really strong, then that means that'll be really strong forever unless they nerf it or leave it behind light-wise. If they nerf it, people get pissed off because they say, why'd you nerf my PvE weapon? That's BS. I like using this. And it's like, well, we want you to use new things. And it's like, okay, so then let's leave it behind light-wise so you can use it in old content but not new. But then the problem is people are like, bring it back! Like 2 months later.
That's the case.
Yeah.
So the only way that, like, there is a way that they could solve this, and the way that it's been solved in other MMOs is anything that's like say like our exotics, right? They have a level cap and they can't be brought forward.
Yep.
Their stuff leaves, like, it goes up to 35, let's say, or 40. Yeah. And then we have to stop using it. We can't use it anymore.
I agree. I wish that was the case, because then it would force you to use new things, and that stuff could be left as a relic of the past. But the Destiny community won't let it happen, dude. Seriously, as soon as Bungie says, oh, we're doing this, everyone will be like, oh, okay, whatever. And I swear to God, 3 months later, they're going to be like, bring it back. Every time. So
no, I agree with you. I think it's wrong. Yeah. I think the way they can't treat this like a full-fledged MMO, but they can't treat it like a shooter either.
And that's the unique situation that they're in, because in an MMO, people aren't attached, because if you have a sword, right, and you're like, oh yeah, like my sword's getting left behind, you don't really care, because there'll be a new sword that like has different perks that gameplay wise it feels the same, because you're not like,
or feels better, or has a bonus for whatever you're doing,
right?
Makes it easier
because of the way combat works in like World of Warcraft.
like raid set bonuses in World of Warcraft, for example.
But
now those are getting left behind. Those are gone.
But because
those are actually completely gone.
Because of the way combat works in Destiny, people get an attachment to like, I like the way this hand cannon fires and I want to use it again. And that's different than an MMO, because in an MMO you wouldn't really care. You'd be like, oh, there's a new sword I can use. There's a new staff I could use that's better. In this game, it's like, yeah, there's better stuff, but this fires a particular way and does a particular thing that I miss. So it's a real conundrum. I don't know how they're going to fix it, honestly.
What you're talking about is the way a weapon like responds back to a person, like the input the weapon gives to them. Where with like, I haven't played a lot of MMOs, but in games like, I'd say like Dragon Age, like the first Dragon Age is probably very similar to how MMOs are, where the input coming back from like your attacks and your stuff. Like,
it's damage numbers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're basically just playing for damage numbers.
Right, and passive perks and stuff, where this is like a shooter feeling, where it's like, in Halo, if they were like, we're leaving the battle rifle behind, people would be like, what? Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like that's archetypes though. So like if they were to say like, hey, like we're not leaving anything behind as far as weapon types, but all your weapons are being left behind. Like,
but
maybe
exotics are different though.
Devils.
Exotics are different.
I know exotics are different, but exotics aren't any different than legendaries were in Legion. Yeah,
true.
And Legion, those only lasted till level 115.
But don't they?
You had to remove them.
But like in World of Warcraft, the legendary weapons, don't they? The class specific like legendary weapons, isn't there like new iterations that you can upgrade?
Not this expansion, no.
Oh, okay.
So all we have now is the neck piece. Like it's very common in World of Warcraft for that to happen. It's like, well, all my gear is moving on, because in the next expansion, the problem is that they don't do anything. The stats that we get from the gear that we have don't do anything, and the weapons themselves don't give stats. That's the actual issue. If they fix that issue, we won't care about our exotic that gives us a triple jump or changes our slide distance or whatever, because they can do that with a new exotic that has whatever. Then we'll feel free to go, I don't care, like make
but power creep though. So if they keep making new exotics that do the same thing and better, then eventually you just get to a point where everything is completely out of control and has changed the sandbox drastically.
Yep. So what you have to do is you have to crunch the numbers.
Yeah.
Which World of Warcraft has done twice now. With this expansion and once in Wrath of the Lich King, I think. They did a number crunch which reduced all of the damage, reduced all the power level, reduced everything on the character. So you're not doing as much like you're still doing percentage of what you're doing, but you're not doing. The numbers are just smaller.
Right.
So all of the old content you can still go do if you want, and then the new content you'll have much smaller numbers. It's for their number generators, like it gets like in the billions, and they can't, like their systems can't handle that, so that's why they do it. But it also creates a gateway for you to go, oh well, if this is five levels lower than this one, and I get an extra perk with this one that's a new system, like a new perk system inside of armor or inside of gear is what's required.
Right.
They have to have new systems with every single expansion, and we know Forsaken is doing that, right? That's why we're ready to leave back our year 1 weapons, because we don't want them anymore. They won't be good. That's why we're ready to leave our year 2. They are doing that in Forsaken. But now the stats don't matter
for legendaries
to solve that problem.
Yep. But like going forward, unless they add like another perk in year 3 to randomly rolled weapons, it's like, how are you going to eliminate the Forsaken weapons next year? That's
they're gonna create a new system that only is on year 3 weapons and year 3 armor. That's exactly what they're gonna do.
But eventually, like, aren't you gonna like be adding too many features to one gun?
No. What they'll do is they'll go, we know you like the better devils. Here's the better devil. You have your year 2 god roll better devils. But guess what? There's a new thing on guns that we can do in year 3 that your year 2 gun can't do.
Yeah.
So now you'll need to get that for year 3, and it'll be the
sense.
same thing.
I just want to know who the person is. All these people are that love Better Devils so much.
I know,
I
right?
don't feel like there's that many of them.
I feel like they're bringing it back just as a meme because of Luke Smith saying your 10th Better Devils is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, he actually said that, but like he actually believed that he wanted, like he probably believes in the system. He might have been, we don't know. He might have been the major catalyst behind this this change.
Oh, I have no idea.
Because he intimately understands World of Warcraft's update mechanics.
That's true. He is a World of Warcraft addict, apparently.
He knows how they change from one expansion to the next, and he knows what's required to move on to the next expansion from this expansion. So maybe like with him being game director, I think that's his title, right?
Not right now. Christopher Barrett took over as lead game director.
What does he do?
We have no idea. He's maybe working on Destiny 3.
That's probably true.
Yeah. We really don't know. He's said
so
a few
we know
things,
that the 10th Better Devils will be fixed by year 3 then, by Destiny 3 then, right?
Yeah. We just won't have any of the other quality of life updates that we've gotten over the past year.
That feels bad. Remember when we used to Titan skate? That was fun.
Yeah. So I want to talk about like economy, Forsaken prep stuff real quick. There's a lot of stuff we've been doing to prepare, and I wanted to mention a few things. So I was listening to Gigstream, and he was talking about, and I can't find the source for this, but apparently 3 of coins are not going to work, and they're getting taken out of the game. Apparently on September 4th, your only option will be to dismantle your 3 of coins. So they are not going to be a boon to have.
It might be because of the fact that Xur doesn't give you any anything having to do with Forsaken.
Right. So the faded engrams aren't going to give you Forsaken loot.
He doesn't. Well, Xur won't have a way to give you. There's no way for him to give you any Forsaken items.
I don't know about that. It doesn't.
Outside of the ones he sells.
Right, the ones he sells.
So like that would make sense that 3 of coins wouldn't work because the faded engram doesn't work.
It works for pre-Forsaken stuff, but yeah, I'm fine with this change. I don't want 3 of coins in the game. I think it like we've been showered in exotics. I'm sick of it. I want them to feel special again. So I think that's a good change. But if you've been stocking up on your 3 of coins, stop doing that. And I think that hopefully if they did this right, the dismantle function will just give you back exactly what you paid for them. That would be nice because they didn't tell anybody this was happening, and it's not even in this patch notes or anything like that. So
any other economy changes you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we talked about the milestones. What did you say?
Vanguard tokens.
Vanguard tokens. Yeah.
You wanna stack up as many Vanguard tokens as you have. There's one thing that we did this week, which was on all 3 of our characters and for as many characters as you have, you should do 1 normal raid with your consumables full, leaving the thing
keys.
to go to the post, the key to go to the postmaster. Because if you get 3 exotics on 1 character, or if you get 3 keys on 1 character, one of those is guaranteed to be an exotic.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that or not, but yeah. The other thing we talked about, like you can, the powerful rewards. You're not gonna be able to stock them up like we had anticipated. You would be able to. What you can do though that I didn't realize is. If you have an excess amount of Crucible or Vanguard tokens, with the Crucible tokens, you can go buy that Alchemist Ghost over and over and over again and get 5,000 Glimmer for it and get a bunch of mod components stocked up, basically. So just keep dumping your Legendary Shards into that and your Crucible tokens, and then you get mod components out of it.
I couldn't find the source for this either, though. They said that an unconfirmed source, said that they... it's going to be 25 mod components for a new mod, for a year 2 mod. Which sounds unreal to me.
So definitely stock up on them now, is what you're saying then.
Does that only work with the Trials Ghost?
No. I'm saying the regular alchemist ghost that you get for
The alchemist shell and
resetting
the
Valor
Zavala and the
twice.
Zavala
Oh,
ship
okay.
will do it
Yeah,
as well.
okay.
So the
The
trials
Zavala's-
one is the best thing because it's 15,000 glimmer, but you get 5,000 for the one right in the tower, which might save you a lot of time anyway because you can just run back and forth to Banshee.
What about the Vanguard one?
The Vanguard, you buy the ship over and over again.
Okay.
Zavala's authority.
If you have a lot of Vanguard tokens. I don't have enough Vanguard tokens to be doing that, so I'll be dumping my Crucible tokens instead. I'll probably use like 1,000 Crucible tokens, see how many mods that gets me.
Yeah, for the trials ghost though, you have to have a flawless for that week.
Yes.
'Cause you can't talk to the
which is impossible now. It's over. You can't get into trials anymore.
right.
But a lot of people did.
Last week.
Yeah. So
Last
go
week.
back to last week and just get that done real quick.
Yeah, just go back in the past where we're going. We don't need roads, kind of deal, you know. And go tell yourself to grind more strikes or grind more crucible or something. I don't know. Crucible does seem to give more tokens. If all 6 players you're in a 6 stack and all 6 players are doing a crucible gift.
Yeah.
They give a lot more tokens.
So I wanted to say one last thing about economy. The materials that are required for infusion now, I'm assuming they're going to be required, or that they're going to be acquired from other ways than just running around maps picking them up, because that's a lot of materials, honestly. It's going to take it seems like a lot of materials you're going to need to be infusing things effectively.
Like a lost sector chest will give you like something like 24 or something like that.
That'd be nice. It'd be good if like random things just dropped them, like sometimes, honestly.
Oh, like you kill a dragon.
Yeah.
Well, they have the new material that's on the Tangled Shore. I can't imagine that we play the campaign and the thing. So for my recommend, and we don't get them. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another thought in my head that I'm gonna get to, but yeah, I can't imagine we play through the campaign and get like not have a bunch of that Tangled Shore stuff.
Oh, remember we talked about the people cheating in competitive last week?
Yep.
They said they're banning those people.
Yeah,
So
they're banning those people and they're removing the posts so that you can't see them. If you do see it, report it. There's 2 things on ammo economy is one of them.
Yeah.
But the second thing on economy I wanted to talk about was I forgot what it was now.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, the second thing I'll probably circle back around to, but the second thing is, have you guys played with the new, like the heavy ammo economy is stupid now.
In
Like
PvE?
bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, like you can't get heavy.
Not at all.
Yeah, I haven't touched PvE either, but I've heard this.
It's so bad. I hope there's fixes that, like, I'm just not seeing the full picture. I hope to God I'm not seeing the full picture, because
The juggler
ammo runs
mechanic.
aren't even a thing anymore. You can't do an ammo run.
Yeah. The juggler
armor bars
mechanics
not
need to be
dropping it?
taken out.
So what they said was verbatim, I think Christopher Barrett said, more like D1 style, but yet we don't have ammo synth.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So it, like, there are ways to fix it, and hopefully they pick my way, which is
Maybe those Titan gloves will come back that somehow give heavy ammo to everybody.
even with the raid gloves, you barely get heavy
Wow. It's a problem.
from killing an orange bar. So with my proposed solution involves a raid chest to open up, if you like, that'll just give you loot, because it doesn't make sense that you start a raid encounter and you don't have your gear.
Mm-hmm.
So like there should be a chest at the beginning of the encounter that says pick up whatever you need, you know, fill you up on heavy, on all of it, to get yourself going in this
Right.
thing. Shouldn't be felt at a disadvantage or feel like you need to do ammo runs or something like that. So
I do have to start wrapping up, so if you have anything else any other topics you want to
the other thing about economy, I couldn't remember. I can't remember.
Okay.
I swear.
Anything about grenade launchers?
Oh,
What?
yeah. We didn't even talk about grenade launchers. Go ahead, Michael. You're the grenade launcher expert.
They are perfectly fair. and
Oh my
balanced.
God, shut
Exactly
up.
where they are. No, the breach loads should not be able to one hit. They should only do a max. They should do the amount of damage that a hit counts for now, which is like 180 when you get the nearby impact when you release it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the regular nearby release should only do 100, like Fighting Lion did. And I think both of those should just do 100, like, and that'd be fine. Like, leave the stun where it's at. Make it so that you have to do follow-ups to get the kill.
Does Fighting Lion use kinetic ammo?
No, it doesn't. I checked.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it does. Actually, I don't know if I checked, actually.
Okay, I need to know that. If it uses kinetic ammo...
I know that it starts with way more ammo than, like, a regular legendary breach load.
If you guys don't know, Fighting Lion got buffed.
Yeah.
Damage-wise. I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but yeah. It does more damage.
It's going to do more when you can get the catalyst for it.
Well, the kinetic weapon you follow up with will do more.
Right. Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do? Because that uses primary ammo.
I don't know about that. That's what I was just asking him about. I have to test that.
It uses primary. It does.
You tested it?
No, Reese just said it does use primary.
It does use primary.
Okay, so that needs to stop stunning now.
You mean Fighting Lion? Fighting Lion doesn't stun.
Yeah, well, it doesn't disorient, but it does stun you. You can't move. Like, it will stop you from sprinting.
Huh, I've never actually noticed that.
Yeah,
well, you're not on the receiving end of it.
Yeah. No, so it doesn't give you concussion like Orwing's Maul does, and like screw up your whole screen, but if you're sprinting, it'll stop you.
Okay, I never actually noticed that.
Yeah. So that's
interesting.
That's busted. That's crazy. I think that, first of all, having it do so much damage, the breach loaders in general, and having them stun, way overpowered. I know on console, like, they're not a big deal, but on PC, please no.
What is the new infamous Fighting Lion loadout? Like, what's the primary, secondary, and heavy?
Hand cannon or SMG?
Hand cannon, SMG?
Yeah.
And then what's your heavy?
You don't use the heavy? I almost never use heavy this week. It's
Me
weird.
too.
So,
play the game, probably.
Play the game, probably?
I just had either play the game or boop equipped. Almost always,
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have boop with Fighting Lion, but...
Well, no, I usually use O-rings, though, because I really, really like that concuss.
Yeah.
So... I did want to mention, I did remember what I wanted to mention about the level up experience about from 30 to 50. Unfortunately, I'm not going to recommend that you do the expansion content right away. I'm going to recommend that you level up to 50 before starting the campaign.
EXO. Oh my god. I'm so excited to jump into that stuff.
Because the gifts that you get throughout the campaign will give you power level increases.
Yeah.
So you're going to get things that will give you a power level increase throughout doing the campaign.
Yeah, I know that they said this during Warmind too, but man, I just like playing the campaign when there's new stuff out.
I know, but
I don't want to sit there and do public events, you know?
I don't think it's going to take very long because we're all stock up on Fireteam medallions and stock up on things. Okay. So make sure we have the things that we need.
And the ghost that does 10%.
The 10% does that 10% XP. It's only going to take us a couple of hours. We'll be in the Forsaken expansion long.
Yeah, but there's going to be people coming in our chat just like spoiling the story, dude.
Wow, that's what we have mods for.
People spoil Destiny stories?
I don't know. I've always done it right away. So
Cade dies.
One last thing. I really got to wrap this up. Cyberpunk 2077's gameplay reveal was the coolest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy cow. That game looks amazing, dude.
So Reese recommended that sub-only mode would be a good deterrent for that?
Yeah, it kind of like stops anyone new from coming and getting involved in your channel. But so... I guess basically just if you're having problems with spoilers, do that. But yeah, dude, if you haven't seen it, EXO, you need to go watch it. It's 45 minutes of gameplay. It's gonna be the best game ever made, hands down.
My only complaint is that there's no third-person mode. I really wish I had a third-person mode.
Dude, you sound like the people on the YouTube comments. that's like what people in YouTube comments say.
Single-player shooters, I love third-person so much. So
I think if CD Projekt Red says the game plays better in first person, I believe them. Honestly, like they said they tested it both ways and that the immersion is much better in first person.
Yeah, but what about how pretty everything looks? Give me the wider like look.
Well, you can look at the city when you're in a car and stuff. You saw you could go in the car in third person.
I have the same problem in Destiny, Michael. I actually would like to see a third person mode, at least like as an option.
Not in PvP, please.
Not in PvP.
No, because everyone will go third person. It's you can see too much.
It's actually broken in
the best game ever made was either Final Fantasy or God of War. Thank you very much. And both those games actually were in third person mode. Just saying. No, but I'd say like I like to be able to look at my gear. That's my thing. Like if you're playing in a game that you look at your gear on, and
I understand.
That's like your gear, and like I want to see that.
I understand. I think it gives too much of a tactical advantage in PvP. I don't want to see that at all.
Bigger maps.
No. It'll change everything about the game. I like first-person shooters for PvP. I don't want to play Fortnite, Destiny, or
in Battlefront's PvP. When other players are playing in first person, you can absolutely tell because you can just like sit there at a corner, wait for them, and then as they're running, just peek, and then they're done. Like, and those are massive maps.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this then. They could bring it close in where you couldn't do it. Like Uncharted has a pretty good system.
I'd actually like to see them eliminate even the emoting go into third person.
Almost over the shoulders. Yeah, it's almost over the shoulders. Like you can still see the top half of Nathan's body, but yeah.
Like Gears of War
like
style.
Gears of War back in the day.
Gears of War is closer than Uncharted, but yeah, very similar.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta get ready for work. But you have any last thing you want to say before we get going?
We're ready for Forsaken.
Oh yeah.
Ditto.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, by the way, I got off for the raid. Michael, do you have a team yet?
No, I don't.
Okay. Are you looking to do a day one? All right. You should join me, Wits, and Linny. Exo's team is already full, so too exclusive for us.
Exo not to say that I won't be in that team if there's an opportunity. So
okay.
If I get out of there, and you guys are still doing it, I'm like, I'm gonna hop in.
Oh.
Okay.
I can.
Yeah, I want to finish it in the first 24 hours. This is the first time I'm ever gonna be able to experience a blind raid in Destiny, so I'm super excited. I got coverage for work.
Blind raid! Oh my god, I love those so much.
I only got to do it with King's Fall.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Michael. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great episode. Exo, as always, everybody. I'm Recked expert now on Twitch and Twitter.
Yep. We're still all the same people we were.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago, except for Recked, who's changed his name
in the past 5 minutes, apparently.
Yes, it's there's no underscore, which
no
is
more underscore.
That's PogChamps.
Yep, and new branding stuff coming. But I'll see you guys next week. Peace.